Hello everyone and welcome back to Minecraft. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build the Apollo 11, and this one is a very massive build, so I don't have a materials list exactly, but we're going to be building the rocket along with the tower and the launch pad as well for this one. Now the rocket is not an exact replica of the real life one. There are a few differences. For example, we've got the United States writing on all four sides rather than just one side. I believe the real Apollo 11 had, and also these black little stripes are a bit different too. They're a bit smaller than in real life, and we've got four of them around instead of I think just two. But yeah, and we've also changed the location of the flag and the writing here as well. But yeah, basically it just makes things look a little bit nicer in Minecraft, because there's certain limitations when you're working with just cubes. But anyway, and I will have a quick run through of what materials you'll need. You'll need a lot of stone for the launch pad, as well as some grey carpet. You'll need a lot of these polished deep slate walls, as well as some iron bars, and also some tough blocks and sea lanterns as well. In addition, for the tower you will need a very large number of acacia fences. We'll need some torches as well as some scaffolding, and we will also need some smooth sandstone, as well as iron blocks for this one. As for the rocket, you'll need a few cauldrons, some diorite walls, a little bit of basalt, a lot of quartz. For this particular one we've used quartz bricks, but I actually think smooth quartz will probably be better, but you can mix and match blocks as much as you like. Really, if you want to use wool or snow or something else like that, there's no reason you can't do that. We've used black wool, a lot of banners for all these for all the lettering and the flag here, and I will be showing you how to make all of those. We've used a few of these black stone walls as well for that little section in there, and then higher up towards the top we've also got more basalt, some scaffolding, and even a conduit on top. And the reason we have the conduit on top is to make it as close as possible to the accurate height of the real life Apollo 11. This one is 110 blocks plus a conduit. The real life one is 110.6 meters tall. So yeah, that's the reason for that. And you may notice this is a somewhat simplified design, and there is a good reason for that. And we'll move into a survival world so we can see what on earth I'm talking about. Basically, the reason we've kept it simple is because by the time you get far enough away to actually appreciate this as a whole, and see the whole build at once, you can't really see the details on it anyway. The banners especially disappear before you can even see the entire rocket at once. So yeah, that is the reason we've kept it simple, and it also makes it nice and easy to build. That's an airport, by the way, with some space invaders on top. That's a whole story of its own, but today we'll be focusing on the rocket. And yeah, it's despite the massive size, it's actually relatively easy to build, so it will take a while to get all the resources, but as you can see, we're in a survival mode world now, and it exists just over there, so it is very much possible, but it does take a lot of acacia wood and a lot of quartz. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's just get building. So this tutorial will be split into three different parts. Firstly, we'll build the launch pad, then the rocket, and then finally the tower will be last. And there will be timestamps in the description for each part. Or at least I was going to do a tutorial for the launch pad, except a poorly timed power outage corrupted the footage, so I don't have that. But I will quickly run through how to build it, and hopefully it will be easy enough to follow. So firstly, we have a sort of base platform, all made out of andesite, and that is 31 blocks on one side and 45 on the other. Just one big solid rectangle of andesite. On top of that, just in by one block, we have a series of square pillars with polished deep slate. Polished deep slate on the corners and iron bars on the sides. They are 3 blocks tall, and on each corner we have a 4x4 square, and along the sides all of these are 3x3, and the spacing between all these, we have a 3 block gap just here, another 3, a 4, a 4, and then 2 more 3s, and then we get to the other corner. On this side, they are all 3 block gaps on the shorter sides, and it is completely symmetrical. Like left and right are the same, and the front and the back are the same. On top of that, we have another 3 blocks of polished deep slate walls, and they run in a rectangle all the way around. On top of those is grey carpet, and then the area in the middle is filled up with stone. Underneath, this is all filled in with tough blocks, although you're not really going to see this too much, so it probably doesn't particularly matter, but this is mostly just so we have a place to put in some lighting, so we don't get lots of mobs spawning under here. And if we stick our head up here, you can see we've got sea lanterns all running around the edge. Any light block will work just the same. You're never going to see those no matter what. But nonetheless, what that means is this whole thing will be lit up all around the outside at night. So that basically covers the launch pad. So let's just move on to the rocket itself. So with the launch pad ready to go, we can get started on the rocket. Find the middle of one of the shorter sides, and we're going to count in 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks on top of the stone, and then place a cauldron, and then we can just get rid of these just temporary blocks, and then place a cauldron just in front of and behind the first one there. Then we're going to turn this into a sort of ring of cauldrons, 3 on each side, and we're going to build another 4 of these rings. So the second one will be right next to it, just a 2 block gap between them, just like this, and third one will be exactly the same, a 2 block gap, and then the third ring of cauldrons, and then the fourth one and fifth one will be just in front of and just behind the middle one. So in the end they'll make a plus formation, just like that. And if I ever refer to the front of the building, I am as of now referring to this side, the longer side, with the rocket on the left. So the next step is to fill in all of these cauldrons with lava. If you don't want to collect 60 buckets of lava, because that is rather a lot, even if you do have a lava farm, what you can do instead is just place light blocks behind all the cauldrons like this, and the one in the middle, you can just make that stone block or some other junk block. But yeah, that will work just as well. You could even use torches if you wanted to be very cheap with it, but yeah, there's a few different options there as well. But yeah, if you're not going to use light blocks, and you will fill them up with lava, just fill this in with stone or cobblestone or dirt, something else that you're not going to be needing much of. The next step is we will be placing 3 basalt blocks, all facing vertically, polished basalt blocks, I should specify that, on top of each of these cauldrons. So you're going to need about 180 basalt just for this step, which is almost 3 stacks. So once you've done that, grab some smooth quartz and look at the side of one of your basalt walls, and place a 2 smooth quartz coming out towards the outside, and same here, and we'll connect them with one diagonally like so, and we will do that in each corner. And then we will place another line of smooth quartz on top of all of these. Next up, we are going to fill in all of this area here on the inside of our circle at the top level with smooth quartz. And editing me here, I think it would be better if we actually replaced this floor with a deep slate, cobbled deep slate this is, and then from underneath it will look nice and dark, because I don't think it would be white at the back of the rocket. And that's what it will look like when you are done from the inside, and from the outside we'll just punch our way through here from underneath. You can see it's now nice and dark up there, but of course you can choose whichever you prefer. And if you want to save on some basalt, you can actually just get rid of these because you won't be able to see them from the outside anyway. And the same with the ones on the edge, just like that. So next up we're going to build these domed sections on top of our rockets. So we're going to start with 4 quartz stairs, or smooth quartz stairs, on each one like so, and then we will place just junk blocks in the corners here. We'll have a smooth quartz slab on top of each of those, and then a smooth quartz block between the 2 slabs, and another one on the next step down between our stairs on top of the basalt there. Now we'll grab diorite walls, look at the middle of the basalt, and we will have 3 coming out to the side, another 3 on top, another 2 coming out of the quartz block, 1 on top of the quartz, 1 out, 1 on top of the quartz, 1 out, and then 1 final one on top. And do that in on all 4 sides. And if you're not planning on using the interior for anything, what you can actually do is break out these stone blocks that I told you to place before, and that will allow the light from the cauldrons to come through, and it will light up the area down there and stop any mobs from spawning. And in fact that should be enough light to sufficiently spawn proof this whole area. But if you are worried about it, you can just place a few torches around just to make sure. So the next step, we are going to start building those black stripes, which are made from black wool. We'll place 1 behind each slab, and then 3 across the top like so, and then we'll build all of these up by a further 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these other ones we can just match it to the same height like this, and do that on all 4 sides. Next we'll go back to our smooth quartz, and just on top of this basalt here we'll place 1, and we'll build it all the way up to the same height as the black stripe, and we'll do that all the way around the edge until we get to the basalt here, and we'll just build this all the way up to the same height as the black stripes. So when you're done you should be looking like this. Next up we're going to build up this entire circle by another 16 blocks, all with smooth quartz. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and we'll stop it there and do that all the way around. And once you're finished you should be looking like that. Next up we'll return to our black wool, and we'll be making another stripe similar to the one down at the bottom. So we are going to be placing 3 blocks wide and building up 8 blocks high. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will just bring all of this up as well and do that on all 4 sides. And of course we will bring up all of this quartz to the same height. Once you've brought all this up to the right height, just place a smooth quartz block on the inside of these corners here, because we'll need those blocks in a moment, because we have some black stone walls to place now just on top of all of this basically. Okay, so once you've finished the wall, the next step is a big one. We need to add 26 quartz blocks on top of the wall. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And do that all the way around. Editing me here, you can actually put sea lanterns behind all of these wall blocks, and that will light it up from the outside for some hidden lighting. Once you've got all that in, we are going to place our banners, and here is how to make all of the banners. We'll start with the letter U, so we'll need a white banner with red dye, and it's very simple. We just do the line down the left hand side, the line down the right hand side, and the line across the bottom. Then we'll switch out for white dye, which is called bone meal on Bedrock Edition for some reason, even though it's not bone meal, and put a white border around it, and that is our letter U. And the letter N is just as simple, once again starting with a line down each side and finishing off with a diagonal line going from top left to the bottom right, and then we'll switch out for our white dye and we will put a border around it once again. For the letter I, we will start with a vertical line down the center, followed by a line across the top and a line across the bottom, and then we will once again finish off with a white border as we have done with the previous letters, and that is our letter I. The T is very simple, once again starting off with a vertical line, and we'll put a horizontal line across the top and then finish off with a white border. Moving on to the letter E, we will start with a line across the bottom and a line across the top, as well as a line through the middle, and then finally we will do a line down the left hand side, and you can start to see the E shaping up, and now we will finish off with a border. Now the letter D is a little bit weird. We're going to start with a red line across the top, a line down the right hand side, a line across the bottom. Then we will switch out our dye for the white, and here is where we need the bordure indented banner pattern, and we will apply that. Back to our red dye, and we will use this pattern that is half the width of the banner, the red per pale, the pattern is called. And then finally, switching back to white, we will do the white border. So yeah, the D is a little bit weird looking, but yeah, it's really the only way you can do them. And I actually just found a better design for the letter S, so that is what we are going to do. We'll start with a red line across the top and across the bottom, like so. We'll switch out our dye to white, and we will use the diamond shape pattern. We'll switch back to red and use the diagonal line pattern from top left to bottom right. Switching back to white and using the banner pattern for the border indented, we will apply that one, and finally taking out that banner pattern, we will just add a regular white border. Onto the letter A, which is a very easy one. Line down the left, line down the right, line through the middle, line across the top, and a white border. Next, we need to create the American flag, and this one is fairly simple. We just start with a white banner. We'll throw in our red dye, and we need the stripy pattern, this one here, and we will apply that. Switch out dye for the blue, and we will change the pattern to the little square in the top right corner, and that is the best American flag we can really do with Minecraft banners. But yeah, you might also notice the blue dye is called lapis lazuli. It's just a Bedrock thing at the moment. So we're going to start by writing United States down the side. So starting with U-N-I-T-E-D. Leave a 1 block space.
And then it states
S-T-A-E-S. And when you finish that, you should end up 1 block away from those black stone walls. Just under that then, we will place our American flag right here, so 3 blocks below the end of the black stripe there, and then we'll leave a 2 block gap, and we will write U, an S, and an A, and do that on all 4 sides. And here are the 2 different designs for the S's side by side. The one on the left is the one I showed you how to make, but if you do want this one that's on the right, it is simply a red banner with a white diamond, a white stripe across the center, a red diagonal line, and then a white border, and that is it. But I like the new design better, so I will replace it. So the next section is where we are going to start funneling the rocket inwards. But first we need to add one more layer, but this time we're incorporating a little bit of black because there is a bit of a checkered pattern on that section of the rocket. So just on the corners, I suppose you could call these, we're going to place 5 black wool on each one, like so, and then on the longer side sections, just another 5 smooth quartz. And once you've done that on every side, we're going to need to place a temporary one there, one across, and break that, and we'll just place another 5 quartz behind the 5 we just placed, and we'll do that on all 4 sides. And then with black wool, we'll place a temporary one there and come out 2 in each direction, like this, and break the corner. And do that in all 4 corners. The next step sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but we're actually going to make this 5 wide section a little bit bigger on the next step up, and we'll make it 7 wide. We'll have a quartz on each end, and then we'll switch to our black wool and fill in the gap in the center. So you'll do that on all 4 sides, and in between these 2 quartz, we'll just place a temporary one there and put one in the middle and break that. So we get 3 on a diagonal. So when you are done, it will look like this. And for the next layer up, for the black, we'll just place 3 on top of the ones that we already have there. And then for the corners, we'll just place a temporary one there and bring it out 2 in each direction. Break the temporary one, and it should look like that. And do that for each side and corner. So when you're done, it should look like that. Next up, on top of this rim we have just built, we're going to build up 10 blocks of smooth quartz. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and do that all the way around. So it should look like that when you are finished. Next up, we're just going to add 2 more layers to this, but of black wool. And then 1 more layer of smooth quartz. Next up, we're going to be placing some quartz stairs, and on each of these 3 block wide sections on the outside, we'll be placing 1 in the middle, facing towards the inside, and then come around to each side and place another. Then on each of these side ones, we are going to be placing 1 facing towards the center, and then 1 facing towards the first stair. And we'll do the same on this side, just like that. And do that on all 4 sides. And when you're done, you should be looking like this. Next up, we're going to grab some smooth quartz, and just behind these corner stairs, we are going to place 1 on each side, and 1 in each of the corners as well, and do that all the way around. So next up, on each side, we're going to place 3 across the top of those quartz blocks, and then we'll build these up an additional 4 blocks. So that's 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4. So it's 5 in total on top of these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As for the corners, we're just going to place 1 on top there and 1 to each side, and then we'll just build this up to the same height as the sides. Next up, we will go back to our smooth quartz stairs, and we'll just place 3 along each side with an extra 1 on the next step back. And once again, we'll grab our smooth quartz, and we'll place a block in each corner to cover up all the gaps, so we can't see inside from the outside. Then we will continue to build upwards. We'll place 3 across the top of those once again, and we'll build these up 5 blocks in total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for the corners, you can just place a temporary block in there, grab your smooth quartz again, and just build up 5 blocks, and then break that one. And while I think of it, if you want to add some hidden lighting into your build, what you can do is where that temporary block was, you can just place a sea lantern there, and it will shine through the stairs and help to light up the outside of the build. And in fact, you can place one in these gaps as well. And you can also do the same thing one level below, placing them in these same 1 block spaces, as well as these 2 spots right here. Back to the top of our spaceship, and we're going to place 3 smooth quartz stairs along each side, and this time we will have a smooth quartz slab in each corner. And once again, behind the slab we will have 2 smooth quartz blocks, so we can't see in from the outside. And once again you can place sea lanterns in these gaps to light it up. Next up, we're going to go back to polished basalt, and we're going to build this up 6 blocks high, all in vertical lines. So I think that's 6. Let me just count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll do that all the way around, skipping the corners just like this. So yeah, do this all the way around. Next up, we'll be going back to our smooth quartz stairs, and we'll be placing them around the edge of the basalt like so, all facing inwards. Then we'll throw in a ring of light blocks. If you don't want to light it up, these can just be temporary blocks, but we'll use them to place in another ring of smooth quartz stairs on top, and you can see we're getting very close to the top now. We'll place in 1 more sea lantern in the top there, and then it will be 1 block of smooth quartz, 2 scaffolding, 3 diorite walls, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 conduit. Make sure you are facing in a straight line, because these can be placed on an angle. So yeah, make sure you are lined up when you place that one. And then you are done. That is the rocket 100% complete. But of course we still have the tower to go, so we are not done yet. So now let's start building the tower. Come to the front, so looking at the long side with the rocket on the left, and we'll come down just under this fin here on the right, and we're going to count 4 blocks diagonally from the center here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th place a block, and you can get rid of those 4. Then we are going to turn this into a 3 by 3 with that original one in the corner there, and we'll just leave that there for now, and we'll do the same in the opposite direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th place a block, and then we'll get rid of those. We're just using them for counting, and then once again we will turn this into a 3 by 3 like so. Next up, we want to count 7 blocks across, so 2, 4, 6, 7, and on the 8th we'll place one there, and break all of them, and we'll just make another 3 by 3 square just in line with the previous one, and it should be 1 block away from the end. And this would be a good time to make sure you've got these squares in the right places. They should all be 7 block gaps in between. These are just counting blocks, you don't need these, but there you go. Next up, in each corner we're going to build another 3 by 3 square of iron blocks on top, coming towards the center like so, and then we'll make another 3 by 3 platform on top of that one. And if you want to save on iron, you can just break into the middle. You don't need that one there, and the one on the bottom level you can do the same thing. If I can just reach in there, that center one can just be a junk block, because you're not going to see it from the outside. And of course do that in each corner. Once you're finished, you should be looking like that. The next step is a big one. It will probably take a very long time, but we're going to place 9 acacia fences on top of each of our squares here, just like that, and then we'll place a torch in the center with another 8 acacia fences surrounding that, and do that in all 4 corners. And then we're going to repeat this going upwards a total of 50 more times. So the easiest way to count that is you can just check the coordinate while you are standing here on this top level of iron. Right now we are on level 14, so we need to keep building this up until we can stand at the top, and it will be level 116 is what we are looking for. And this will be a very lengthy step, but it comprises most of the tower, so that is the reason why. Alrighty then, once you are finished, you will have 4 very large pillars looking like this, and they will be very tall. You will notice that at the top they are actually open, with the torch there, but that's fine. You're not ever going to see it from the top really, so it's not a big deal. But if you wanted to, you could add another layer of fences on top if you wanted to cover that up. But anyway, and if you don't want to do all the maths and coordinates and all of that to work out how high to build these things, there is an easy way to know where to stop. If you come over to the top of the rocket just before the scaffolding, if you build it straight across from here, you'll actually find out that it is perfectly in line with the top of the tower. So yeah, it's level with the top solid block of the rocket. Alrighty, so the next step, come to the middle of your towers, and we're going to make another 3x3 square. This one just flat on the ground in this central section right in the middle of our tower, and decide where you want the entrance to be, because this is where we are going to have a scaffolding, so we can go in and head up to the top. So I'm going to have the entrance on this side, so we're just going to place 3 fences on the left, 1 at the back, 3 on the right, and we'll do that all again straight on top, and that will be our entrance. From here on, you can just run these fences around in rings and build them all up to the same height, and in the center we will have a scaffolding which you can do that at the same time. And for this central pillar, the scaffolding doesn't actually go right to the top. We're going to take that down by 3 blocks and place a fence post above, and then facing towards the rocket, we will break the fence straight ahead, then the 2 below that, so we have a way out, and we'll eventually build a bridge there. But if you're playing in survival mode, you might want to leave the scaffolding going all the way to the top, because we will need to come back up here later on. In fact, we might as well do that last step right now. All we need to do is just completely fill in this top layer full of acacia fences, so it will look like that. Next up, we will build the little bridges between the rocket and the tower. And for these, we are going to use smooth sandstone, and the top one will be just half a slab down from the top of the basalt, and we'll build this all the way across until it connects with our tower, and it should line up with it should line up with the scaffolding. We don't need that one, so just like that. The next bridge down is at this wool level where we've got the 2 blocks high of wool, and we'll do a similar thing this time right at the bottom of the wall there. We'll build this across all the way to our central tower, and we'll need to break our way in here. We don't need these fences, and we'll break that one too, and there we go. So the next one down is just above the United States banners, where we have this checkered section, and we're going to place one there, build it out a block, break that, and we'll build this all the way across to our tower. And once again, we will break these 3 and place another slab there. And the final one is down where we have this wall section, and once again, it's going to be a half a slab down from this edge here, and we will build this across to our tower once more, and once again we will have to break these fences. So when you are finished, you should be looking like that. Now for each of these bridges, well, there's actually a couple of options. For underneath, you can use either trapdoors or fences, and I will show both, but the process is the same either way. we just run a line underneath of the slabs of these fences, connect them to the wall, and we'll do an extra one on each side. And once you've done that, we're just going to build up each side by 2 more fences, just like this. And I'll show you the other option with this one, which is acacia trapdoors instead of fences, just for the underneath section. We'll just run them all the way along here and all the way back to this where it joins to the fence, and we'll also place them in along the sides here as well. Once you've done that, you can just run 2 lines of fences along the top like we did before. If you want a comparison of what the 2 options look like, here are the fences and here are the trapdoors. Now you can see them at the same time, and if we want to look from beneath, that is what they look like. And after looking at it for a while, I think I do slightly prefer the trapdoors over the fences. But of course it just depends on which one you prefer. So when you are finished, you should be looking something like that. Now the real life tower does actually have more bridges that go across to the rocket, but we don't want it to look overcrowded, so we're going to leave it with just 4. Alright, now we have one final step for the tower, and that is to build a few more kind of supporting structures, I suppose, between all these posts, because right now we just have basically 4 freestanding columns, which is not going to make a sturdy structure. So the first one we are going to all the way down to the ground, and we will have to fill in this area similar to what we did at the very top. We're just going to fill in all of these gaps on the side, level with the bottom of our pillars, just like that. And once you've done that, we're going to do it again and add another level of these on top. And we're going to do that a couple more times. So come up to the lowest bridge, and we'll do it again in line with the fences of that bridge. And if you chose to do the trapdoors, just do the 2 layers of fences, but if you did do the fences underneath, you would do all 3. And do the same thing with this bridge and this bridge, but with the top one, it's going to look a little bit weird if you do another one, another few layers of fence that close to the top, so we won't worry about that. So when you've done all that, you should be looking like this. It's hard to actually see from the side, but yes, these layers are there. And I mentioned we're going to do something a little bit different at the top. All we're doing is filling in the layer directly beneath the top one that we already have, just like that. And we'll do that on the front, the right hand side, and the back, but not the side facing the rocket. Otherwise we won't be able to get through our doorway. What you can do here is just put fences along the sides, just like this. So it should look like that when you are done. And there's one final thing worth mentioning about the rocket, because I haven't shown it at night time yet. You can see we have quite a bit of lighting, but it's not enough yet. It's not lit up very evenly. So there are a few places we can add some more lighting if we come up on the inside. There's a few easy places we can add in some more hidden lights, and right down in this little area where we first started, we can actually replace these stone blocks with sea lanterns that will light up the fins a little bit more than what they currently are, and we can do that on every side. But the other spot is further up, where we have the checkered pattern, where the rocket gets a little bit narrower, heading up towards the top. And what we can do there is break the middle 3 quartz blocks and replace them with upside down, backwards facing quartz stairs. If you use a stone cutter, they are just as cheap as regular smooth quartz blocks, and they will let the light through if we place some more sea lanterns just on the inside. I keep saying sea lanterns, any light block will do for any of these, but yeah, that is the way around that, and that will make, I think, this build entirely spawn proof, so you shouldn't get any mobs spawning on it. And yeah, if you want to add even more hidden lighting, what you can do is you can at any point on any of the sort of flat sides, you can break a block, replace it with a stair, and place a sea lantern behind it. It will look exactly the same from the outside, and it will let the light through, and you can basically keep repeating that until it is as bright as you want it. And after doing that in a number of places, we are now looking like this. As you can see, it's still not perfect. There is still some room for improvement there, but it's much better than it was, and much more evenly lit. And that is your rocket, tower, and launch pad 100% complete. My goodness, this was quite a long one, and I imagine in survival mode it will be a bit of a tricky one to build, but I think it looks very, very cool. Unfortunately, by the time you get far enough away to see the whole thing, the banners sort of go out of the render distance, so yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but that's just what happens when you build something on this scale, I suppose. But yeah, still very, very cool, and yeah, hopefully this was helpful to some of you. And yeah, it's a big undertaking, and I realize in survival mode, for a lot of people it may not quite be reasonable to get that amount of acacia wood or quartz for that matter, but you can get plenty of quartz from villager trading. If you have a bunch of stonemasons, you can get a lot of quartz from those. And as for the acacia wood, I guess you just need to be a crazy wood farmer to get that. But yeah, other than that, there's not too much else that's too hard to get. A little bit of cobbled blackstone is easy. Some black wool shouldn't be too hard. And I guess the conduit as well could be a little tricky. But yeah, that's not going to be the biggest concern in this build. I don't think I would be most concerned about all that acacia. And of course, like I said earlier, you can build this whole thing as a unit or just the rocket on its own. Maybe you could even have it blasting off into the sky already, and have it as a sky decoration. You could probably, if you were into your redstone, hide some form of farms in here as well. There's quite a lot of vertical space in here, so I'm sure that's useful for something. But yeah, I haven't done anything like that for the time being. It's just a big hollow rocket. But that is going to do it for this one. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, and let me know what else you would like to see in Minecraft. If there are any other specific builds, any redstone related things on the Bedrock edition, mind you. But yeah, whatever it might be, let me know what you would like to see next. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.